Bold, bitch. I'm bold. Bold, bold, bold. Bold, 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 bold. We are less than 1 month away from the NBA playoffs, and I have come up with 4 bold predictions. Number 1. A 6 seed will upset a 3 seed. Cinderellas may be made in March Madness, but don't expect that story to end in April. There are 2 teams in the East and 3 teams in the West who are in a tight race for 6th place in these NBA playoffs. Whoever secures that 6th spot will have to end the regular season on a strong note, meaning that these number 6 seeds will be sailing into the postseason with the winds of a winning streak at their backs. The defensively savant Utah Jazz have winning experience in the playoffs. Plus, I hope to hoops that nobody is counting out the GOAT, Grandpa Greg Popovich, with his always playoff-ready San Antonio Spurs. Quick disclaimer. As my hot video editor boyfriend dawdled his way through this assembly, the Spurs have grown their winning streak to 9 in a row, and the Thunder have lost 3 in a row, dropping them into the 6th seed. This may actually reinforce my point, as now we only have 3.5 games separating 3 from 8 in the West. And no 3 seed should feel safe if they have to play Paul George and the Brody in the first round. And lastly, but definitely not leastly, the pesky team coached by Doc Rivers is making out like Montrez in Los Angeles. That is to say, the L's have gone silent for the Clippers.
We're going streaky!
In the East, the Nets are a high-energy team that loves to go streaking. Earlier this season, they bounced back from an 8-game losing streak to win 9 of 10. Then in January, they won another 6 in a row. And no joke, Blake Griffin, the Pistons aren't at all to be underestimated, with the comedian returning to all-star form like a single man who's trying to impress his ex. Oh, right. Detroit has also been getting some great usage from Andre Drummond, who, much like Kendall Jenner, has been taking home some quality rebounds lately. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Could you imagine if Ben Simmons and the Sixers lost to Blake and his Pistons in the first round? Drama. But like, in all seriousness, it's possible. Which is a perfect segue to number 2. Somebody is getting punched in the face. I mean, knuckle to cheekbone, orbital bone, nose, mouth, somewhere. Someone is getting fist to flesh kablowy. Listen, I'm not asking for any violence here. I'm a peacemaker. I believe in respecting your rivals, so I'm not condoning this. I'm not asking for this. I'm not saying it should happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But all season long, there have been a lot of punches thrown and 0 connections. Brandon Ingram fisted Chris Paul in the chest. Serge Ibaka came like inches away from ending Marquise Chris's life. But really, it's just been a lot of glancing blows and absolute whiffs. These are supposed to be professional athletes with professional hand-eye coordination. With tempers flaring in the playoffs, somebody's going to want to throw some hands. And when they do, they are going to connect. And in no particular order, here are my candidates of who is going to be the recipient of some proper fisting. Number 3. DeMarcus Cousins will play less minutes per game than he did in the regular season. The benchmark for that, by the way, is 25.5, which is already the lowest of his career. Recently, Cousins has looked like a Coors Light slushie out there. Slow to move and not a lot of hops. There's no doubt that his long recovery from that ruptured Achilles is a major reason for that. But his lack of speed is a little concerning. It's hard to imagine him playing in crunch time or when the Warriors need a momentum shift. It just goes against the Golden State style, and I think Steve Kerr knows that. Combine that with the fact that this is Boogie's first trip to the postseason, and that means that he might be dealing with things like jitters, getting picked on by opposing offenses and getting into foul trouble, And if just one pesky Patrick gets under his skin, we might see DeMarcus fulfill my first bold prediction, and an early ejection could really affect his minutes per game average. Number 4. James Harden will score 50 points in a playoff game. Wait for it. Twice. In his career during the playoffs, Harden has scored 40 points 7 different times. And throughout this year's regular season, Harden has dropped 50 or more on 6 different occasions. Last year, when Harden won MVP, he led the league with a usage rate of over 36%. This year, the Rockets have increased Harden's usage rate even more, and now he's at a ridiculous 40%. I expect to see that number even higher during the postseason. And gosh forbid if it happens, but if Chris Paul's brittle body gets bruised up again, you can imagine the Rockets making use of the beard in close to half of their possessions. This man's gonna be just jacking up 30, 35 shots a game, easy. All it'll take is for him to absolutely go off one night, for them to go into a double overtime thriller in another, and Harden will be joining some esteemed company in Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, and Allen Iverson as the only players to ever score 50 points or more twice in a single postseason. That's it for my 4 bold predictions. Thank you for watching the whole way through. Love your squad, respect your rivals, and I'm going to keep on loving you with some quality content. Coco, out. Listen, I'm not asking for any violence here. I'm a peacemaker. Oh, you better not fucking fly into my frame. Fuck off.